Hi guys and gals, Jackie at Famished Farm, and we are here for the February monthly recap. And I'm doing that because during the month of February I caught COVID and everything went to hell for 2 weeks as I recovered and started eating and got my strength back. So we're gonna just kind of handle a couple things that would have been done in individual videos all in one. So the big thing was finances, and this is all part of the year of minimal me, and we've got things that we're trying to streamline and make more efficient. And one of the big things is we have a bunch of boxes in the basement that need to be gone through. We moved 2 years ago. We have not touched those boxes and they are driving me crazy. My pack rat husband doesn't think about them, doesn't worry him. I would like to get those before the end of the year, at least sorted through, gone through, because I know there's some of my stuff, most of my stuff was unpacked within a couple days. And his may be a couple years before he gets to it. So I want to go through those boxes and just get them organized and sorted. And if there is anything else from my stuff, I'd like to have it. And then I can decide what goes, what stays. So nothing got done on that in February. The first thing I'm working on is 24 items to declutter in 2024. And I've done the first 16, did those primarily in January. I've got the last 8 of the 24 items to work on, and I will get those done in March. But nothing happened in February. February weigh-in, which part of this is also trying to minimize myself. And I am starting from, my heaviest weight was like 237. And I am now down to 176.8. And since a year ago when we really started, Darlene, a friend of mine, and I started weighing in weekly together. And I've lost, a little more than 30 pounds. For the month of February, I lost 8 pounds, but please keep in mind, I had COVID and I really didn't eat much for 2 weeks. So I wouldn't be surprised if weight-wise I went up a couple pounds in the first weigh-in of this. In fact, it wouldn't hurt me at all to do that, because I think I don't know how accurate that weight really is. But I will flash pictures of my January and February weigh-in so you can see that 8-pound weight loss. And again, I'm just trying to stay accountable. And then our finances for February, which honestly, I just relied on Rod to do everything the 2 weeks I was down. And I did get everything put into, we're using at Ramsey.com, his Every Dollar app to budget for the month. And as you might imagine, I didn't eat for 2 weeks, so groceries were, I think our budget is around $260 a month for groceries, and we were like $80 under our budget. And that is with Rod, just going crazy at the grocery store, buying whatever he wanted, and I got some mashed potatoes and soup. That's all I would eat. So we did have an unexpected expense, although unexpected is really the wrong word. We get a tank of liquid propane we're not quite sure. It's been 2 years, and we got down to about 40%. And it's winter time. We just didn't want to be in a position where let's hope not, but it goes down to -7 again. And we wanted the tank to be filled up, so just for that event. Now, personally, I would have let it go probably till next fall. But my husband jumped on it while I was sick, and one day the gas truck pulled up and unloaded. So that was like a $450 expense, and we do budget for it. It's just that I didn't think it would happen in February. Our everyday gas, we were a little over because we filled up our big work van. We had some moving around of categories and personal expenses for makeup. We did a restaurant outing and a entertainment type outing. There is the Helen Keller home. Her birthplace is south of us here in Northwest Alabama. I've never been. One of the groups I belong to did a little outing, so we went to the Helen Keller Museum. Very good, I might add. And so we had a few things. We did one fast food, and Rod drinks wine twice a week, and he gets the 3 or 5 liter, I don't know what size boxes they are. And so when he gets those, when it's on the grocery bill, it might send the grocery bill over. And so I've changed that to really be an entertainment expense, because it kind of is. It's our twice a week happy hour. Our garden expenses were over, but not really, because I did have gift cards that I used for those purchases. And then our doctor visits, again, we are heavy loaded on doctor visits in the beginning of the year, but my medicine and doctor visit this month, totally unexpected COVID. So I think I've got enough budgeted for the year as we work through the year, but that was, $65 out of pocket that we did not expect. So all in all, pretty good, thanks to the grocery budget being under. And then our second part of things was our meal planning for February, and I'm still using, again, this is Ramsey.com. I do have, I believe, enough pictures or video of the meals, and this is because I'm trying to work through my recipe stash, and I'm calling through recipes to reduce the stack down to manageable. It was not at the beginning of the year, and so I'm trying at least 3 new recipes a week. The new recipes we did were a white chicken breast chili, ginger beef and green bean stir fry. By the way, I don't know who the white chili chicken recipe was from. I will have that in the description. The ginger beef and green bean stir fry was from Real Simple, November 22. And then I did a beef and bell pepper kebab, and it called for mushroom ginger noodles also. We did not do the ginger noodles because I was one of my first times cooking, and I just couldn't be in the kitchen that long. So it sounds really good though. I do not usually have rice noodles or soba noodles in the house, but I will make some variation of that in the coming weeks just to try it, because it looks really good. Didn't that look delicious? And I don't remember what we had with our kebabs, but Rod grilled them. They were fabulous. So I will reference these recipes in the description. The other thing I want to talk about is when it comes to budgeting and planning and meal prep, I completely forgot about our outing for Valentine's Day. And normally, we're alone here, we just go to Texas Roadhouse and get a steak, and then that steak, we have enough leftovers to do another full meal the next night or 2 nights later, and then sometimes enough beef to do it on a salad. So when I planned this week's menu, I had already 2 beef meals slotted in. So if you add on the 2 extra Texas Roadhouse beef meals, 4 beef meals for people trying to lose weight and or have a heart condition, is just too much beef. So we usually do 1 beef meal a week. A lot of time it's hamburgers on the grill, because my husband makes awesome hamburgers on the grill. And you know, it is what it is. So that whole week got messed up, and we actually moved the ginger beef green bean stir fry into the second week or the third week of the month, and then the kebabs into the fourth week of the month. But we are continuing to work down on all of the things that were concerning me. The strawberry preserves that were, I used them while I was sick on Greek yogurt. The pickles, I think just being aware that you've got too many, we've got now a jar of chunk pickles, which is bread and butter pickles roughly, and dill pickles in the fridge, and they get pulled out and put on the dinner table or at lunch sometimes. So it's just being aware and using them. I would say the things in February that I didn't touch were the seeds. So my chia seeds and my flax seeds, I need to, in the month of March, make a note. I'm gonna do that right now because I'll forget. I'll use my chia and flax seeds in a couple recipes. Hey, listen, the other thing that I did before I got sick was I made from scratchpantry.com her sandwich bread. Very good. It's an easy recipe and one that I will make again. And I also got my Azure order, and I bought 10 pounds of frozen organic cranberries, and those became cranberry juice concentrate, which means I again have all of that cranberry pulp back in my freezer. Even more than the last time. But one of the things I did, and this is from a pantry challenge early on, is I made a recipe from the gayglobetrotter.com, easy to remember, for savory cranberry meatballs. And that recipe made extra sauce. I think I doubled the recipe, but I wasn't 100% happy with the sauce, so I pulled off as much of the sauce as I could and I froze it. Well, I immediately took 2 cups of the cranberry pulp and added that to the mix I already had in the freezer, and we made them last night actually. And I used ground turkey for the meatballs, just totally ground turkey. Delicious. The sauce, as written, called for 2 pounds of fresh cranberries. I think I put 1 cup in, and it was overly sweet and not exactly to my taste. But as reworked, which was as written, with the 2 pounds of fresh, which once you've made the cranberry juice, 1 pound condenses down to 1 cup of pulp. So it was delicious. We had it last night, and I've saved again some of that sauce for another double recipe that I'll make, and I'll probably use a mix of pork and ground turkey or something coming up. So I think that was kind of where I left off, but we'll get you some videos, just an abbreviated cooking video on what I did either right before, during, or after COVID. So it will be short and sweet. The first up recipe is the beef and bell pepper kebabs. And this was from Cooking Light magazine, which no longer exists, August 2014. So I'll put the recipe in the comments or link it on the website or whatever. You'll have access to it. It calls for a teaspoon of minced garlic and a teaspoon of peeled fresh garlic minced. And I do about a teaspoon of garlic. We're not huge garlic people, so we generally go light, but we do like ginger. So I probably did about a tablespoon of minced ginger. That's the sesame seeds, which I'm going to be toasting in the microwave. They go on after the meal comes off the grill. And I toast them. We're going to have this on a different day, so I toast them and then I'm going to put them in a little baggie. And so this calls for then a 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce. And I do use low sodium. And in this recipe, I did go ahead and use all 4 tablespoons. And then I've got some of my frozen orange juice, which is one of those pantry things that I have a lot of in the freezer. So I will use 2 tablespoons of the somewhat frozen orange juice. And then we'll mix that together and add 2 teaspoons of honey. And I just use raw. I typically buy it from art and craft shows that I go to. You get it wherever you get it. Then 1/8 of a teaspoon, I use cayenne pepper. You can use ground red pepper, whatever. And it also calls for 3/4 of a teaspoon of 5 spice powder, which I just don't have any longer, and I just left it out. Now, it does call for a pound of sirloin steaks cut against the grain into 1/4-inch strips, which I do there, and 2 red or yellow bell peppers. And this is what it looked like after coming off the grill. And we did put those sesame seeds on it. This was absolutely delicious and pretty quick to cook on the grill. Oh, those were on stainless steel skewers too. Our second recipe is from Half Baked Harvest, and it's a creamy white chicken chili. I've got some olive oil. I'm going to saute a medium yellow onion, and then to that I'm going to add not 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to add a little bit of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. That smoked paprika will make this not a true white chicken chili, more of an orange, but it's still delicious. We did leave off 2 poblano peppers and a jalapeno, but then added a large box of chicken stock. And now we're going to be dicing up our chicken, which will go in. And we'll add 2 cans of white beans. I think I use cannellini beans here. And hi, Tilly. By the way, it also calls for salt and pepper, but those grilled chicken breasts that I diced up already had salt and pepper on them. We're going to add what's left in this jar of salsa verde. This is home canned green tomato salsa verde, actually. And then I will soften this in the microwave for a few seconds and shred a cup of cheddar cheese, and both of those will get added into the pot, and we'll mix them up, and at that point you're ready to go. The recipe calls for fresh cilantro, avocado, more cheddar for on top, and or yogurt for serving with lime zest and juice. We basically skipped all that from the cilantro on and just used some saltines. It was delicious. And our last recipe is from Real Simple Magazine, the November 2022 issue, ginger beef and green beans stir fry. And I found a package of thin sliced flank steak, and so I'm marinating it in a tablespoon of cornstarch, and I use the full 3 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. I've also cooked a pot of jasmine rice, and because I'm out of the sauce, which is 3 tablespoons of chili sauce, some sesame oil, I've just doctored some up using ketchup and some spices, and then adding my sesame oil. And I did put that on the stove top just so the flavors married together a little easier. It just calls for you mixing the sauce in the bowl. So I'll mix this up, and then I'll set that off to the side and pull out my wok and just coat it with a little olive oil. You could use whatever oil you choose. I happen to have olive oil handy. I'm going to add my thin sliced beef that I have cut even into like thin strips against the grain, and we will start stir frying that. I will add the onions. I've used onions, not scallions, and the ginger. And then we'll saute that all together. Keep mixing and stir frying. Takes several minutes, of course, for that to come together. Hi, Tilly girl. And we're going to cook this meat until it's browned all over. And once we get it to that point, we'll create a little well in the center, kind of scoop the meat up to the sides of the pan. And then these are extra fine frozen green beans. My friend Darlene loves them. You'll find them at Aldi's. We'll mix these in, and then I'm going to put the lid on turn the heat down a bit, put the lid on my wok, and kind of let the steam cook those green beans. And then once we toss that, after it's cooked for a while, we will add in that chili sauce and sesame oil as the sauce for the dish, and give that a quick stir. Then we get this sauce added, give everything a good stir, and I got to tell you, this was absolutely delicious. With that jasmine rice on the side, we actually, there was some left over, and I remember I had it for breakfast the next day, and I don't eat breakfast, so that's how good it was. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys, and please leave comments if you'd like. I'd like this to be a conversation, and so if you see me doing something stupid or you have a suggestion for a better way to do something, please let me know. And everybody stay healthy. Don't get COVID. And if you do get it, I hope you're one of the people it doesn't affect. But we will do a better job in March on keeping up with our year of minimal me. And again, thanks for being here. Bye.